Hello all you glorious people of the world. Chelsea-Chee here, back with West of Loathing. So we're making our way, trying to save some ghosts. What's wrong with the librarian? I don't think I really know. Oh, I never asked. I was wondering... Shh! Oh, gotta get close to the microphone again. I was wondering how you died, if it's not too personal a question. I was caught in the crossfire in a library shootout. Wow, what happened? A pair of ruffians got into a heated argument over the comparative merits of Anton Chekhov versus Henrik Ibsen, and when they started shooting, I attempted to step in and stop them. I simply won't abide gunfire in my library. It's far too loud. I'm trying to see if maybe this information that I would get would be useful, but I should be able to look at both of them. I hope. Yeah. That's your only objection? The noise? That's quite sufficient. I won't tolerate noise of any stripe, and certainly not gunfire. Ibsen versus Chekhov. Huh. What was their point of contention? I don't recall the peculiars. I just remember the Chekhov fan shouting, "Remember that gun I showed you in Act 1?" before opening fire. The noise was dreadful. I'll see what I can do. Okay, so... you find the shelf where Fun Law belongs and put it back. The next book on the shelf is entitled Gun Law, which might be even more entertaining. Now, I guess I could have read Fun Law. Oh, and a box of science DVDs. This book is an overview of the laws regarding guns, which at this point in history already don't make any sense. You learn basically everything there is to know about gun law. Now you can be the prosecuting attorney and the defense counsel in addition to judge, jury, and executioner. Ooh, +5 pistol attack. After that, you put the book back on its shelf. Time to dispense some justice. Here. Some doohickeys for you. What's this thing? Whatever it is, I'm sure it's safe. Which, you know, who knows if I'll ever see any of her stuff come to the light of day. Alright. Let's talk to the ghost lady. What's your problem? It's legal stuff you never understand. In fact, I think you'll find I'm quite conservative in these finer points of our justice system, particularly as it pertains to guns and gun-related activity. Horseradish, you're all trousers and no briefs. Well, just try me, smart lady. Fine. Obviously you aren't gonna leave me alone, so just ask your questions. I'm Chelsea-Chee, speaking for the record. State your name, occupation, and cause of death. Felicity Wainwright, defense attorney. Lost a court-approved trial by combat. What? Trial by combat has been outlawed for like 15 years. You do understand that ghosts don't visually age as time passes, right? Oh, right. So your client called for trial by combat, which means you and the prosecutor had to face off in a duel. That's correct. And you lost? She squints at you. Are you acting dumb to try and throw me off guard? I withdraw the question. Why are you stuck as a ghost? Because although trial by combat was already well out of fashion at the time, it was still a valid legal recourse. I should have been prepared for the possibility, but I wasn't. My lack of training resulted in an innocent man being executed for murder. Ugh, how was he executed? Hanging, I assume. Obviously, I wasn't around to see it. So to release you, I'd need to prove that the loss wasn't your fault. The trial duel was completely fair and above board. There is no chance of there having been foul play on the prosecutor's part. my loss was my own. Then I'd have to prove your client was actually guilty, and therefore your feelings of responsibility are misplaced. The look she gives you is hard and cold. Look, you think you know a thing or two about the law? How about you tell me the first rule about being a defense attorney? All these, of course, are not the first rule. Don't accidentally call him Mom. You have to trust and believe in your client. If you don't believe your client is innocent, you'll never convince anyone else he is either. So if I want to convince you he was guilty, you'll have to fight an uphill battle, or you'll have an uphill fight, gal. You're essentially playing prosecutor here. Alright, tell me about the case. My defendant was Matthew Guilty McCready, accused of the murder of Victor Vic Timsbury at noon on June 18th, 1878 in Reno. So I'm pretty sure this ghost is going to be one of the harder ones to salvate. It might be one of the ones I have to look up just because I'm not quite sure if I'll remember everything I have to remember. I have some questions. Go ahead. Your client was actually named Guilty? Come on. Names don't mean anything. I once had a client named Ike. I killed a guy, and he was totally innocent. For someone's actual legal name, sure, but nicknames are usually given with some sort of basis. You've never met a really tall guy called Tiny, or a fat guy called Slim? Arguably, the name Guilty would reinforce my client's innocence. That's totally absurd, but I'll let it rest for now. Let me ask something else. What was the cause of death? Timsbury was shot through the heart with a .45 caliber revolver. And did McCready? I'm probably gonna keep saying McCready. And did McCready own such a gun? Yes, he was holding it at the time, and subsequent examination shows that it had recently been fired. Are you messing with me? Any further questions? This was at noon precisely? Yes, that was confirmed by witnesses. Also, McCready owned a fancy pocket watch that chimed on the hours. There were witnesses? About half a dozen of them. I'm pretty sure there's something you aren't telling me. I'm not obligated to play my hand face up, Miss Prosecutor. Okay. Go on. Hang on a second. Shot with a pistol in front of witnesses at exactly noon. Was this a duel? So you can add 2 + 2 after all. Well done. Okay, well I know about all kinds of gun law, so I should be fine when it comes to duels. The book I read was pretty thorough. Oh, why don't you quote me a relevant passage then? Sure. The issues surrounding duel law are complex and cannot be properly addressed in brief, and so I refer to you the next volume in this series for a comprehensive discussion of the topic. Well, nuts. Guess I'll come back. Indeed I will. You're gonna be standing there as a statue for quite a while longer, my dude. Let's hope that duel laws are right next to gun laws. To brighten a duck instead of a rope. Okay, well, looks like I'm stuck on that for a little bit longer. So, back up to the 3rd floor. To the music room. I had to have this water by me just because all this reading. That might be the crank I need. There it is, okay. Well, I didn't mean to walk out. That was my bad. A musty, decaying pile of old music books. Almost all of the books are dry-rotted and moth-eaten and fall apart at a touch. You do find a copy of Dueling Banjos. So this is probably where I'll find the duel from. Speaking of which, can I read this? I cannot, so I probably couldn't have read the other one either. So good news for me, at least. This is a bassoon, and you know what they say. It makes an ass out of in and boo! Ah. Oh my goodness. This woman doesn't seem to be interested in anything other than cranking that hurdy-gurdy. You deftly disconnect the crank from the hurdy-gurdy without alerting the woman's attention, but it turns out you needn't have bothered. She continues to turn the crank, blank-eyed, even with nothing attached. You grab the end of the crank and pull her very slowly to the gift shop where you find a vitrilla to plug her into. She seems just as happy here as she was before. Must be nice to have a calling. Okay, well that's how that happens then, so... Nice that I wasted time at the end of the last video to walk all the way down with a crank. Just to realize that that wasn't what I needed to do at all. Without that lady here to crank it, the hurdy-gurdy is neither hurtling nor girdling. There's some sheet music on the piano. It's blank sheet music. Ooh. I can't play dueling banjos by myself. I don't have enough arms. Florence? Sorry, I only play the bagpipe and not well. If it's a bagpipe, how do you know? How about you, Susie? Even if I could play the piano, I'm pretty sure two people can't play both parts of dueling banjos on the same piano. In fact, I reckon it might be straight up illegal to try. That's interesting. That's text you wouldn't get if you went to go return the book, so that's nice. He is conducted away, I must say. This is the ghost of an orchestrator conductor, unless he's the ghost of someone pretending to be an orchestra conductor. Either he's very agitated about something or he's conducting Flight of the Bumblebee. Sorry to interrupt, but I can't actually hear the music. What are you conducting? It's the finale of the year 1812 Solemn Overture by Tchaikovsky, which I think is correct. Oh, the 1812 Overture. Sure, that would have been my second guess. Is your orchestra like double ghost or something? What? Ah, I see. No, there's no orchestra. I merely have this piece of music irrevocably lodged in my head. It has been nagging at me incessantly ever since my death. This is just a guess, but did you die during a performance of the 1812 Overture? That is correct, yes. Very astute of you. And the finale of that piece features real, actual cannons, right? Is that how you died? If it was my fate to be slain by a piece of music, cannons would have been far preferable to my utterly farcical demise. What happened? Hold on. The overture requires several cannons because it is impossible to load a single cannon quickly enough to fire as the score demands. However, the stage we were performing on could not have borne the weight. What did you do? I was not informed of the difficulty until it was far too late to make any changes. It transpired that the stage manager decided it would be sufficient to give a box of bullets to the tuba player. You were shot by a tuba? I was shot, as you say, by a tuba. Wow, no wonder you ended up as a ghost. Oh, it isn't the ridiculousness of my death that troubles me, really. Accidents happen as with any of the performing arts. A colleague of mine was decapitated by an errant cymbal during a performance of Paganini's Violin Concerto No. 1. Such are the risks we take for our art. Gosh. The problem is that with the 1812 Overture's finale is a very dramatic and energetic piece. With this music constantly replaying itself in my head, I have been utterly unable to find any peace. But I have blank sheet music. Interesting. Let's finish looking around up here first before we go back downstairs. Mrs. Gunn. The door is locked and no earthly force can open it. Well, maybe a whole team of horses, but good luck getting them up the elevator. Knock knock. Yes, who is it? Mrs. Gunn? I'm Chelsea-Chee. Are you with the ghost extermination people? Yes, ma'am. Florence Cunningham, Cunningham Ghost Annihilation Services. Chelsea is my assistant. I'm your what? Who's the county licensed ghost hunter here? Me or you? Okay, fine. I guess. Have you been able to exterminate all of the ghosts? I still feel haunted. 12 of them left, according to the scanner. We're still working on it, ma'am. Don't worry, you can count on us. Alright, please let me know when you've finished. So we won't be able to go in there until all of the ghosts are gone. But we can go in Mr. Gunn's manliness room. The sofa is tacky, both in terms of style and stuff that has been spilled on it. From the smell of it, Mr. Gunn mostly burned garbage in this thing. It's full of cheap cigars. So, for our joke, interesting. Weird if you were going to commission a painting of swords, you think you'd at least ask for nice swords. The guy doesn't notice you approaching until you're right next to him. He yelps in surprise and drops his glass on the floor, and then squints unsteadily at you. Then he takes a maraschino cherry from a bowl on the bar cart and throws it at your head. Hey, stop that. Sorry. Just making sure you're not one of them ghosts. He drops another cherry into a fresh glass and pours a lot of whiskey on top of it. Are you one of the museum employees? Mm-hmm. Yep, that's me. What are you doing in here? Hiding. Lady, I don't know if maybe you didn't notice, but this house has got ghosts in it. You don't say. Whole bunches of them, all over. So I don't know about you, but I'm staying right here, where it's nice and drunk. I mean safe. Wouldn't you rather get out of here? Nah, all the booze. That is booze. I'm really scared of when ghosts go boo, you know? They'll get me if I leave this room. There aren't any ghosts between this room and the exit. So you said. That's what you said. But they're ghosts. They could be anywhere. Except in here? Exactly. I ain't leaving without a guarantee that those ghosts won't grab me on the way out. Well, it's a good thing I have this shower curtain. Here, look. We'll use this white shower curtain to disguise you as a ghost. Then they won't bother you on your way out. That's a mighty fine idea, but... He tosses back his drink and pours another. But, oh, eye holes. That curtain's got no holes for my eyes. I won't be able to see. I'm starting to think you don't actually want to leave. No, what give you that idea? It's terrible in here. You narrow your eyes at him and blast some holes in the curtain with your pistol. Okay, geez, I get the picture. He grabs an armload of bottles from the cart, pulls the shower curtain over his head, and staggers out the door. The museum employee has drunk a lot of this cart's contents, but there's a few bottles left. Grab one. Manly's finest cotton candy schnapps. He must have only read the first part of this label before he decided to buy this. Okay. Bowling. This poster is clear in its artistic intent, but it's not very imaginative. This is where the bowling balls would come out if this thing was working. Bowling stuff is extremely broken. It's not supposed to be flying around even a little bit. I guess we'll fix it with a fight. We'll shoot her target for 3 damage. Sure. Which, you know, did nothing. Bowling ball chunk. Deals damage equal to your muscle. Oh good, the XR85 was complete trash. Is it just a bowling ball room? Looks like it. Just a way to level up, I guess. Mr. Gunn's trophy room. That is a very angry looking duck. I don't know if I like it. Wow, you hope you never meet a live duck this big. It's sickening, killing a helpless sofa and stuffing its carcass as a grisly trophy. One of the moose's eyes is loose. Now it's really got its eye on you. This is just the head of the teddy bear. They didn't even remove the tag. So many polyesters died just to decorate rooms like this. These antlers are made out of paper mache, apparently by somebody who's never seen antlers before. A goblin. Okay. This table's covered with knife marks, probably from that guy. A whole rack of bowling trophies. If they were billiards trophies, there'd be an easier pun to make. There's a goblin head mounted like a trophy on the wall. This would be positively barbaric, if not for the fact that the goblin seems pretty okay with it. Boo! Ha ha ha! Pretty good I am getting you, huh, human? Wow, yes, very much to getting me. Nice. What is this happening to you? Did Mr. Gunn hunting you and you cutting head off? No, Mr. Gunn is good human man, and being very friends. Inside one of his bowling ball bags, my spore to growing, only headroom. Mr. Gunn to finding me, and hanging me up here for to chatting with. Great guy. I hope that's that guy muttering. You can tell this is fake because it isn't floating around the room setting stuff on fire. This is just a photograph of a fish. Mr. Gunn was apparently really liberal with his definition of a trophy. This ghost is dressed up as a traditional safari hunter with the pith helmet and big white mustache and those weird khaki trousers that makes it look like your butt has wings. He's inspecting Mr. Gunn's trophy collection but doesn't seem particularly impressed. Hi, I'm Chelsea-Chee. Oh, charmed, I'm sure. Lord Istuian Cam Denton at your service. What happened to you, if you don't mind my asking? Not at all, not at all. Though it isn't a very exciting story, eh, what? I was hunting lions on the plains of the Serengeti, and one of the blighters got the better of me. Wow, you were eaten by a lion? That sounds pretty exciting to me. Yes, well, not eaten as such. Sneaky bugger crept into camp and pushed a stack of ammunition crates over me. Oh. Maybe I can help you? Help me do what? Well, help you with whatever's keeping you as a ghost. Though now that I say it, I guess there isn't much I can do to help you get revenge on that lion. Oh, no. This isn't about revenge that's keeping me here. Good for that lion, I say. Turnabout is fair play and all that, eh, what? Though I do wish he'd done it in a manner that made for a far better story. So why are you a ghost, then? It's because of my one true regret. I never faced the most dangerous game. I am definitely not going to help you hunt people. What? No, the most dangerous board game. Nobody was ever willing to play against me. A bally shame, eh, what? What's the game? He leads you over to a small table on which is laid out a board of alternating red and black squares with little wooden discs painted red and black as well. Checkers? The checkers jump and scatter as the ghost stabs two large hunting knives into the center of the board. Knife checkers. Well, what are the rules? Do you know how to play checkers? Yes. Do you know how to stab someone in the hand with a knife? Yes. That's all you really need to know. Okay, well, I'll play. I have enough muscle to do so. You yank one of the knives out of the board, and Lord Euston instructs you to hold it left-handed. The rules are, you may only attack your opponent's hands, and only when they are over the board. Displaced checkers are played from where they land, but attacking the board directly is a foul, which awards the opponent a stab-free turn. It appears to be primarily a game of concentration, quick movements, and feinting. Well, let's play aggressively, I guess. You start out the game by attacking quickly and fiercely to establish dominance and keep your opponent from developing his pieces. This strategy is somewhat effective, but Lord Euston doesn't scare easily, and he manages to feint a few pieces past your guard. You enter the mid-game, more or less evenly matched. Well, I guess let's play intelligently then. In the mid-game, you focus more on the checkers than on your knife work, maneuvering into position for some big gains in the long term. You suffer a few minor nicks and cuts, but are well positioned for the endgame. And so I guess let's play craftily. Lord Euston spots a hole in your defenses. He feigns left, then quickly slides one of his pieces into the gap and into your trap. This moves his hand into just the position you need to attack it with a hard downward stab. He easily yanks his hand out of the way, and your knife hits one of your pieces on its edge, flipping it across the board to land neatly in his back rank. King me. I say, it's a foul to attack the board. Sure, but I wasn't, was I? I attacked your hand and you dodged, that's all. You sneaky blighter. Play continues, but with the king behind Lord Euston's lines, you clean up fairly quickly. Alright, lass, I concede. Marvelous play, eh, what? Well done. He gives you a smart salute and fades away into nothingness. Oh, that must be the goblin. Muttering. Okay, so 2 ghosts down. That's cool. The billiards room. This end table bears the scars of many uncoastered beverages. Looks comfy. Too bad you're too busy to sit down. It's a rack of billiards cues. You inspect them and take the best one, which isn't saying much. The thing about people who buy billiards tables is that they are almost never the kind of people who will properly maintain their cues. This cue does not provide evidence to the contrary. What do we have here? Just a spittoon. It isn't of much interest because you don't have a long-standing and extremely unhealthy relationship with spittoons. Yet. However, if I did, which I won't, because I told myself and you guys at the beginning of this playthrough that I wouldn't be doing anything with the spittoons. Very gross. The funny thing about this one is, as you can see, it is sparkling clean. So there's nothing in it. This is both the biggest and dumbest poster you've ever seen. There's a trap door in the ceiling over here? Too bad you aren't like 11 feet tall. Interesting. Hey there, how's it going? I ain't interested in chit-chat, gal, just billiards. Step up or shut up. Okay, well, you know what? You pull out your cue, and the ghost nods and racks the balls. He utterly trounces you. You just can't seem to make the balls go where you intended. That was as sad a showing as I've ever seen. Let me see that cue. Yeah, that's your problem. This thing's about as straight as the banker's handshake. What? You're gonna need to lathe this back to true if you want a chance against me. Where would I do that, though? Here's the thing. Well, let's go to the second floor. You find the shelf where Dueling Banjos belongs and put it back. The previous book on the shelf is entitled Duel Law, which seems to be about the legal issues surrounding dueling. Never know when that might come handy. Duly noted. Explains all the laws about dueling with things other than banjos. You learn all about the laws pertaining to dueling. It turns out when 2 guys want to murder each other in a fair and reasonable manner, things get legally tricky. So now it's plus 10 physical attack. That's nice. You put the book back on its shelf. Lathe it somehow. Let's go to the gallery. I know we're almost out of time, but we can see how much farther we get with this lady. Actually, before we do that, we can get rid of the guest room one, because we have the eyeball for her. Hello again, dear. Were you able to find me a new eye? Yes, kind of. How kind! Thank you very much. She takes the glass eye from you and puts it in, whereupon it falls through her and onto the floor. She tuts as she picks it up. Oh dear, it's a little too physical. Yeah, I wasn't certain this would work. Don't worry, this is easily fixed. Do you have a hammer I can borrow? A hammer? Ah, yes. That'll do nicely, thank you. She takes the hammer, places the glass eye on her desk, and smashes it with a precise crack. Ah, perfect. She gives you back the hammer and plucks the ghost of the glass eye from the shattered fragments. After blowing the dust off of it, she tucks it into her eye socket. That fits much better. Does it work? Well, now that you mention it, no, I can't actually see with it. It is the ghost of a glass eye, after all. Oh dear, this won't do at all. What a shame. You know, I don't really understand why your eye is still missing. What do you mean? Well, I always assumed when someone loses an arm or something, it just sticks around as a ghost arm. That's why people say they can feel it itching sometimes, because you've still got an arm there, but it's a ghost. It's even called phantom limb syndrome. So logically, if the rest of you becomes a ghost after that, it would hook right back up. But then, where did my eye go? Maybe it got pushed back inside your head? The ghost thinks about this for a second, then shakes her head. No, that seems... Wait. What? I do think I felt something just then. She shakes her head again. My goodness gracious. Keep going. It's like one of those puzzles where you try to get the marble in the hole. Heh. She bends her head forward and continues shaking it. You can almost hear a faint rattling sound, and then a plop. She straightens back up, blinking with two eyes. Ugh. You did it! Well, I'll be. Thank you so much, dear. I never would have thought of that. No problem. Have a nice time in heaven or wherever. The ghost gives you a friendly wave and fades out of sight. Well, that's that then. The funny thing is I could have waited to go probably in room 1 until after I did that with her and I wouldn't have had to pay to meet. But, you know, you live and you learn and I'm rich anyway, so it don't matter. Alright. It has gotten increasingly hot in this room I'm recording in and I don't know why. So let me see how far I'll get with this lady and then, let's go somewhere else. Let's see how far we go. You're back. Did you get a crash course in dual law? I sure did. Swell. The only thing I didn't really understand is when it's legal to banish your opponent to the Shadow Realm. I know all about that. So, you know, we got all our bases covered in this. Okay, well, that didn't come up in my case, so don't worry about it. Great. Let me just do a quick review. A duel is legal provided it's between exactly 2 people at a specific prearranged time and place using the same or at least essentially similar weapons. And they have to either face each other down and quick draw. Okay. They have to either face each other down and quick draw at the appointed moment or do the 10 paces turn and fire routine. Is that right? That's the gist of it, yes. So I guess let's start with you telling me the facts of the case and I'll interrupt you rudely if I have any questions. Alright, but if you push me on trivial nonsense, I'll get mad and you'll have to start over. So only do this once, and if she gets mad, then, this is probably gonna be long. I'll come back later. Let's see. McCready and Timsbury got into an argument in a saloon on the evening of June 17th. Apparently, Timsbury accused McCready of cheating at poker. The bartender yelled at them to take it outside, but since it was dark out, they agreed to meet for a duel the next day. And that would be the 18th, you said? Yes, June 18th, 1878. The next day, they both show up shortly before noon and squared off about 30 feet from each other. When noon struck, McCready fired. Fast enough that Timsbury didn't get his shot off on account of having his head shot off. That's pretty much the long and short of it. I'm gonna have to ask for more details on that. What weapons were they using? McCready had a .45 caliber single-action Army revolver. Timsbury had an older model .36 caliber cap and ball Navy revolver, which he loaded with paper cartridges instead of packing the gunpowder by hand. I don't know if those are significantly different weapons. They're both revolvers. He fired at exactly noon. Yes, as soon as the church bells started ringing. You also mentioned his pocket watch. I want to go... He fired at exactly noon. So... Okay, that's what I just said. Have you got a point to make, or are you just stalling for time to think? You said they were witnesses, about half a dozen of them watching from across the street or peeking through half-open shutters. Were they interviewed? Yes, and their stories line up with what I just told you. Were any of them known associates of MacCready? I'm not aware of any of them being actual friends with MacCready, but he was local and a lot of people knew him. She gives you a suspicious look. Wait a minute, just where are you going with this? Objection! Oh, come on. Any one of those people could have interceded on MacCready's behalf. What? And done what, exactly? Well, they could have shot Timsfield with a more accurate weapon, like a rifle, or... Then there'd have been 2 gunshots instead of just 1. Or are you suggesting they shot him with a poisoned blow dart gun? Blow dart gun. There's only one other thing I could object. I don't think it's gonna be the guns, however. Unless I have to ask questions. Let's see. Are you kidding me? They're both pistols. A modern cartridge revolver versus an antique ball and cap loader? Ridiculous. That antique was in production until 1873 and was considered one of the most reliable and popular 6-shooters in the territories. Furthermore, the restriction against differing weapons in a duel is about pistols versus rifles, or the proverbial knife in a gunfight, or as a more recent example, a nitwit trying to argue law against a professional attorney, which is what I thought it was going to be. So, we will continue this in the next video. I might have to stop and ask questions at some of the other points to get some more information out of her. Because right now, I can't see of a way to truly convince her that he was guilty, except for the fact that, according to her, she legally, you know, he won the duel, but he did kill somebody. Anyways, as always though, be sure to like, comment, share, and even subscribe if you have not already done so. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!